Hey guys, welcome to the Coach Spotlight powered by Rock Daisy. I'm your host, Ron McKeefrey, and excited to have Justin Goff-Burch with us. Justin's the head strength coach at Rigby High School in Idaho. I was just in Idaho just a little while ago, and beautiful, beautiful place out that way. And excited that you're spending some time with us on a Sunday, man.
For sure. Yeah, let's
Yeah.
do it.
Justin, you were talking a little bit off camera. I mean, you had some really cool experiences. Utah with some great coaches there, Weber State, Grand Canyon. Talk a little bit about those experiences, and then like why Rigby High School? What drew you to that specific program?
Yeah. Man, I've been really lucky. So I got my start in strength and conditioning at the University of Utah on the Olympic side and was an intern there. And then I also interned at Weber State University up in Ogden, Utah. So it's about an hour away from Salt Lake in the University of Utah. Worked there with some great coaches and got the opportunity to get into strength and conditioning and loved it. And then I had my first full-time role at Grand Canyon University down in Phoenix, Arizona. Then life happens and things come up, and I had to move to Twin Falls, Idaho. And when I was in Twin Falls, Idaho, I became a high school strength coach. I just went to the local high school basically and said, I want to be a strength coach. I want to help you guys with your athletics. And I worked there for a couple years. And then while I was there, Rigby High School is in East Idaho, kind of a few hours away from Twin Falls. They sought me out. They just kind of found out that I was where I was, and there's some really, really good coaches. Rigby is a really, really good football program here in the state of Idaho. I've been here for 3 full years now, and before I got here, they had already won 3 state championships. And they had a very good program, but they were looking to level up their program, so they brought me in to run their strength and conditioning. So I work with the football team because that's a huge number of high school athletes. And then I work with the rest of the athletes in the school as well. So Rigby is one, it's East Idaho. It's beautiful. If you like to hunt, fish, get outdoors, it's perfect for that. We're pretty close to like Jackson Hole, Wyoming and all of the Tetons at the beautiful area there. So that was a huge draw. But then the opportunity to work with the coaches and the people that I work with here at Rigby was too good to be true. It's an amazing opportunity. I think I work with the best high school coaches on any staff anywhere. And all my experience work in Idaho or Utah or Arizona, living in Oregon and Texas previous to that. I think these are the best group of coaches I've ever met at the high school level. So I feel blessed and honored to be here, honestly.
That's awesome. And you wouldn't say it, but Justin's been a part of those staff that I think they've gone on to win 5 of 7 state championships or something like that along the lines, and just an incredible program probably across the board. But when you got there, you came and you had a suite of tools. I mean, Excel and Google Sheets and a team builder and whatever else, right? At what point did you feel like you needed to kind of level up like your data management system?
Yeah. Man, when I got here, I implemented stuff that I'd always used in the past. So like at the college level, I had used Excel and Google Sheets to build my own database, build my own dashboards and things like that. And that's a lot easier to do when you only have 70 to 80 total athletes. But when you're talking about 300 plus athletes, it gets really hard to manage that many people and that many kids at once. Then also communicate all of that data to 14 different head coaches, not just 2 different head coaches. And that's where I was like, I need to be able to get this data to all of our coaches, communicate it to the whole community, to our AD, to our principal, to our coaches, and let them know what's going on. And so I tried for 2 years. So I had Team Builder for our workouts and the Workout Builder. And then I had Google Sheets as my dashboard system. And then I had Excel files plus Google Sheets for all of my databases. And I tried to use it all, but I was so behind in keeping data up to date. So when we would do testing, and go through our test battery, I would be months and months behind getting those put into the database. And it was frustrating because I had to put everything into Team Builder so that our athletes were working off of fresh and consistent numbers, the most recent and the freshest, right? But also I had to put it into my database so I didn't lose it over time because I could only have so many spots in Team Builder as well. So it made it really, really hard for me to manage everything all at once. The reality of a high school system or a small college system is, as a strength coach, you're pretty much on an island. Like usually it's at our high school, it's me as the strength and conditioning coach. Like we have other PE teachers, but I'm the strength coach. And then anything strength and conditioning goes through me, but I don't have anybody to help me or run things. I built an internship program just so I could get some help. because it's a lot.
Yeah, I think that's something that we do as strength coaches, or a lot of times it comes out of necessity, right? Because you don't have resources or budget or those types of things to try to do it yourself. But then, all these different technology systems and all this kind of software that exists, like you work in silos, and if the right hand isn't talking to the left hand, it can mess things up. And you mentioned team builder. I know that was something that like there's not a person out there that doesn't think that Hewitt Tomlin and the guys at Team Builder do a great job in their program. But it's a workout builder. That's what it is. And when you start to kind of integrate it with all the different technologies that you have out there, Perch or Catapult or anything like that, it becomes, like you said, it's hard to keep track of who's, where's the data most up to date and getting that out there. Talk a little bit about, and maybe even pull up, the workout builder with, like, you made that decision pretty recently. What were some of the things about the workout builder specifically that drew you to Rock Daisy?
Yeah. So I'm just finished my third year at Rigby. The first 2.5 years we used Team Builder and stuff, but this last year, start of year 3, we implemented and started using Catapult. And so for me, getting everything put into the same system was huge. And Catapult, to communicate with everything and get all of the data put together in one place, was huge. And I was doing it manually all by myself and taking hours to do that. And so the problem, though, was when I found Catapult, that we needed to figure out a way to implement all that data, I didn't want to leave Team Builder because the workout builder was really good and really useful, and I used it well, and it was working really well for us. So I was pretty apprehensive here to use Rock Daisy, just because, like, I was so used to what had worked for so long for me with Catapult, or it's not with Catapult, but with Team Builder. And so now I've been using Rock Daisy full time for about 2.5 months. And I use our workout builder every day with Rock Daisy. And I've fallen in love with it because the ease of use for me, it's kind of a combination of Excel and Team Builder. It's been like the perfect marriage between the two for me, because for the longest time, for the first 6 years of my strength and conditioning career, I used nothing but Excel and spreadsheets. And so to me, Rock Daisy is kind of a spreadsheet and kind of a workout builder, like a team builder. So in our programs, I have programs for all of our major sports set up in Rock Daisy in the program workout builder. So under programs, every major sport that is working is built here. So for me, like in the past, this would just be an Excel sheet with a bunch of different tabs, right?
Yep.
And all of these would have been my tabs. And so the beauty of it is instead of, I can go into the baseball program and I can pull up any workout in that baseball program instead of clicking on my baseball program sheet, right? My tab, and then scrolling through and finding where I was at, or going back and copying and pasting last year's over to this year's, right? Or with Team Builder, it was going to find the calendar and the part of the calendar. So if you've used Team Builder, their calendar system is pretty cool, but it also is limiting as far as if I want to carry something from last year over. So this has been so cool because I can go into the library, and this is, I think, the biggest part. What I've fallen in love with Rock Daisy is because I have every workout I've ever done. I save them into the library. That way I can upload them and send them, put them into our workouts, and I can use them week over week. But then 2, it's way easier for me to pull up, and I can search it here, or I can just find specifically the type of workout I want to do, like the clusters with the pull and hinge. And I can do that. I could pull that up, assign it to that team, that group. The other thing that I love is with Rock Daisy is being able to import blocks. So I have blocks saved in that library as well, and being able to go through and import blocks, because our baseball team is in season right now. And for the last few months before they started, we've been importing and building their arm care, shoulder care system, right? And so with that, we've got this new block, right? So if I want them to do arm care 3, 2, or 1, then I can build their program for that day based on the constraints that they have, right? So they're in season. I know they have a game on Monday. So if I was the program for them tomorrow, I'd select one of these shoulder care, arm care routines. And then I know that I want to hit certain things, like I want to hit some jumps, or I want to hit the trunk or lower body. And so I'll import those blocks. And I love that part of Rock Daisy because it makes my ability to program streamline is so much faster. Rather than going through and creating every single exercise or copying and pasting an entire workout and then having to manage and tweak every single exercise. So importing the blocks has been huge. And then especially at the high school level, this might not be as big of a deal as some at the college or professional level, right? But there's random stuff that happens all the time at the high school level. Like next week, we have our state testing. So we have a different spell schedule, school schedule. So my athletes and their workouts are going to be different. So I can go in and just upload 3 blocks instead of 4 blocks. And I can import it and create the workout for the week way easier with the constraints of the high school level in mind. And it makes things so much easier. It's so much more streamlined for me.
Yeah, I think, I mean, some things that I think are really cool, like you said, is being able to kind of have the structure to keep you honest about building the program out through the, you can see how many weeks you're ahead. You can kind of see how many, what else you need to do there. But more importantly is the individualization piece of dropping that in. You've got the data from what their testing numbers are already in there with the AMS system, and being able to bring that in. And add things like an arm care program, core workout, or something where, coaches, you're sitting in a meeting and coach is like, oh, that kid needs to do some low back or is coming off an ACL or wants to do some extra ACL prevention. Building those blocks in and being able to easily go in and drop those in on different people's, programs or calendars, I think is a magic piece there.
Oh, it's huge. It's huge because at the high school level, I'm working with 14 to 18-year-old athletes. Like I'm not working with football players, baseball players, basketball players, golfers. Like I'm working with 14 to 18-year-old athletes. And that's where I think coaches overcomplicate things sometimes is because I'm not going to create an individualized program because most 14 to 18-year-old athletes, like the research is really clear, have the same needs and constraints.
It's strong.
So instead of me making a sport specific workout, like a workout just for basketball, just for baseball, just for football, I give them the same meat and potatoes. So I have the workouts here, right? But then like obviously for a female soccer player, their incidence of knee injury is going to be higher. So I'm going to have their knee health circuit. I'm going to add that into their workout and put it at the front of their workout. And with the blocks, that's what I can do is I can just import those 3 or 4 exercises into the start of a workout. So their meat and potatoes of their training is the exact same, but then the individualization of a baseball player versus a soccer female athlete is going to be different. And they're doing the same sets and reps of squat and bench and some of that stuff, but the shoulder care or the knee care, or the prehab and movement focus based on their sport, that's where I use the blocks. And I love it. It's been so helpful for me.
You mentioned, you have 350 athletes or so that you manage, and being able to manage that data, even as simple as like a weigh-in, can be time consuming to type in that much each day. How are you using Rock Daisy to kind of track things like that and then communicate that to like your coaches?
Yeah. So I've loved the athlete management system side of things. So I use the workout builder every day in a ton, but the athlete management side of things. So with the athlete management system, I use this every day. I love it. Like it's been a huge help in addition to what we're doing. We're in East Idaho where we're not the biggest school in the state, and we have a lot of athletes, we have a lot of kids, but there are bigger schools. And our football program is a good example. So I pulled up football here, and I do with some of our guys, because size wise, we need to gain weight to be able to compete with the big schools in our metropolitan area of Boise. So there's some big schools that have some big boys. And I pride myself because I think that usually we're the strongest and fastest team in the state, but we're rarely the biggest. So it's been a focus with us is that we're going to gain weight. And so I have a few guys that, not a few guys, I have about 30 guys that in the course of our 50-minute session every morning, I call them up and do a quick weigh-in. And the way Rock Daisy is set up has made it so easy. So I have almost daily, 2 to 3 times a week, because we have 4 days a week with our football players. I've been doing these weigh-ins and I check in on body weights in the guys that need to gain weight. And so I call them up and use that daily. So I pull up our AMS and body weight, and then I call up those guys on a daily basis and fill it out as we go. But it's made it super fast and super easy. And then it's reliable because I put the scale right next to me and where I have my station for my computer. And I put it right into Rock Daisy. And in a matter of 10 minutes, I'll have 30 guys weighed in. And then along with that, then I can use, let me share the rolling trends. So I use those body weights every day with our football players especially, but then I create a rolling trend report and I can see where they've come from and where they're going. So when we first started using Rock Daisy, I started doing it a few months ago, right? And now I can look at the trend of see how much total weight they're gaining. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. How much total weight they're gaining, how much total weight they're changing. So it's been awesome because I can send that out. I can print it, or I could just export it and send it to their emails, our coaches' emails. And I send it to all our position coaches, and then they can reinforce for those D linemen or O linemen or whatever position group. They can reinforce, hey, we need to gain weight or we need to lose weight or whatever that looks like, and they can see the trends right now. So It's been especially helpful. That's a huge one because we're competing with schools that have 400 more kids in their school. So by numbers, like they're going to be bigger and stronger, faster. Like I feel like we can build really strong, really fast athletes, but the size aspect, this is helping us a ton because we're way bigger than we've ever been already going into this next year.
Well, what's cool about this rolling trends is, especially somebody that has, I mean, obviously football, it's important and those types of things, but I mean, with a click of a button, you could switch over to swim there or track or share the same data to a variety of coaches, or you can segment out by position or individual athlete. And again, the biggest key to athlete management systems, in my opinion, is not, some of these companies, they've created 2 or 3 dashboards that they're kind of telling you how you should visualize the data. But the reality is when you're sitting in a staff meeting and the coach is like, oh, I want to see the O line versus the D line. All of a sudden now, like that company doesn't have a dashboard for that, or you can't visualize the data in a variety of ways. It becomes problematic, and you're kind of like, oh, well, shoot, then I got to export this data, and then I got to put it into a Google Sheet, and it kind of defeats the purpose, right? But the fact that you have stuff like this at the click of a button on your computer, and you can see it a variety of different ways, and as you teach the coaches how to use the system, they can do it on their own.
Yep.
That's a critical piece. You mentioned that you said you kind of made this switch, 2 months ago. Strength coaches are notorious, right? Of like, this is my system. This is what I know. This is my loyalty, all those types of things. For the coach that's sitting there saying, hey, like, I don't want to go learn a new system. That looks complicated to me. What would you tell them about having gone through this experience?
I think so far to begin, I was very apprehensive because I loved using Team Builder. It made it easy. If I was out of town, I could do Team Builder on my phone. Like, it was so nice, right? And then I spent probably 15 to 20 hours building my dashboards and stuff, and I was pretty proud of them. But the cool part is like, if I really want to with Rock Daisy, I could keep using my dashboards because I can export all that data and upload it into my dashboards. But also, it's everything I could do, but better. And I can still customize it and customize Rock Daisy the way I want to. So the dashboards that I was so proud of, I can create my own dashboards. I've worked with a few guys, but John at Rock Daisy has been so helpful because I've reached out to him multiple times and said, okay, this is what I need. This is what I want. And he's helped me put it together. And that's been cool because I can still customize and still have kind of my system the way I like it. But then the ease of use has been the next part that's been so easy. I thought I was going to hate it. I thought I wasn't going to like it. I was nervous. So Rock Daisy let me do a free trial and see if it was worth it for me. And after using it for a couple days, it was like, oh, this is going to be so much simpler and so much faster in the long run for me. So building using the workout builder, that was huge. And then building and using the athlete management system and the way they communicate with each other is awesome. Cause I can program in the workout builder for them to do an exercise at a percentage of their body weight. And because I do my daily body weights, like that's an up-to-date number. And that's something that they're using that's real time and that data is fresh. And then anytime we do any sort of testing, whether it's like a 3-rep max or 5-rep max and stuff, that's auto updated in the athlete management system. And that connects directly with the workout builder. So everything I do, we're always using the most up-to-date numbers that we can. And then I could pull it up anytime I have a coach drop by the weight room or I go and visit them. I can pull it up and show them based on their team and their athletes specifically where they're at. And the amount of filters and the ways I can differentiate things are awesome. Looking just at this rolling trends, like I can look at their minimum, their average, their max, their total. Like I can look at everything, but then also I can look at the guys that graduate in 2030 versus the guys that graduate in 2029. And we can compare all of that stuff, right? And for us, like we've won back-to-back state football championships. And so with football, it's like, where were we at last year? We want to be somewhere similar. Like we can't repeat success, but we know that trend is right. We know that if we have similar numbers as we had last year, that's going to put us in a better place to be prepared. So it's really cool for me to be able to look at specifically what was that information I had.
Yeah.
And then
go ahead.
This was, the biggest part 2 months ago, like I was so nervous to take my Google Sheets. And I thought I was kind of throwing it away. But when John onboarded me, I brought all of my data previously into Rock Daisy. So my entire Google Sheet database that I had been using for almost 3 years got uploaded, and all of the information and data I had from the previous 3 years was added to my Rock Daisy database. So it wasn't as scary as I thought because I wasn't losing data that I've already done. I wasn't losing a bunch of information that I already had, and all that work I'd already done was getting carried over. So it's been awesome for me.
Yeah, that's such a great point, and one that we haven't talked about enough on these coach spotlights. Yeah, like that's the beauty of it, is pulling in all that existing data and being able to continue the work that you've already done, put a lot of time and effort into. But then when you do sit down and you do a trial and you see what the price point is, which is not is super low comparatively to what's out there.
Yeah.
And the fact that it combines a lot of these different services that you're already using, like it becomes a no-brainer, and so if you're interested, go ahead, John.
For us, the price point was huge as well, because we got the dashboard, the workout builder for the same price that we were previously paying for just a workout builder.
Right.
So it made it a no-brainer. Once I saw how easy it was, I did the free trial, it was like, dang, this is easy. I brought all of my data in already that I previously had, and it made it so it's made my life so much easier, because I would spend 3 or 4 hours every week preparing on my prep day to program and get everybody all of my data in the database and all that stuff. And now I'm doing it on the fly in real time, and I don't have to spend that extra few hours doing that stuff.
What a great point. Yeah, great point. Well, for those of you that want to try out Rock Daisy, make sure you reach out to rockdaisy.com. And like, again, the worst that can happen is that you try it, you don't like it. But I think Justin and I both would tell you that you will. But Justin, how could people stay in touch with you and all the work that you're doing there at Rigby?
Yeah. My Instagram is just Justin Goff-Burch. And then you can also follow, it's called High School Strength System. It's a program and community I built for high school strength and conditioning specifically. High School Strength Systems on Substack and on School and on Instagram is where people can find me and reach out anytime.
That's fantastic. Appreciate you spending some time with us, man. Thanks so much.
Yeah. Thanks, man.